Pleased to be joined now, as always, by Silverbacks assistant coach Carter Cochrane. Following a tough one here, a 5-4 loss. You guys scored a couple late in the third, but couldn't quite come back to tie the game. Regulation loss to the West Kelowna Warriors. What do you think of your guys' performance this evening?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously, the implications on the standings of the pod and everything, and we controlled our own destiny until tonight, and now we fortunately need to ask for a little bit of help from some guys we don't like too much. So that's not always something you want to do, and you never really want to have your fate in other people's hands. But so be it. That's kind of the position we put ourselves in, and it's not even just tonight. We've had a lot of opportunities throughout this pod where we just maybe weren't as sharp right away to start games, or weren't able to put together a full 60, and just an unfortunate night where you have to learn a tough lesson about maybe looking too far ahead to what's still going to be a big matchup on Friday against Vernon, but felt like maybe mentally we might have already been there, and we failed to take care of the task at hand tonight.
So, first period, you guys do take, again, you score first, you take a 1-0 lead in, and it seemed that the second half of that second period, seemed the physicality, Sainsbury starting things really gave you guys momentum, and then the second period happens and they kind of push back and get 2 goals. So can we first start with that first period? What kind of helped you guys get the lead, and then what kind of helped them take the momentum back? What happened in that second?
Yeah, I think, our performance in the first period was a little bit inflated by the 1-0 score and the shot totals. We definitely didn't control the pace of the game as much as we'd like to, and I don't think that we started nearly good enough. And if we thought that it was good enough, it definitely showed in the second that we continued to play that way. And just a lot of one-and-done opportunities, whether that was getting a shot on net or getting a puck in deep. And either if we won a battle, we didn't seem to win the next battle a lot. And that was something that we did a lot last week, where just felt like we were coming wave after wave after wave at times, not even just with shots or chances or goals, but just with our play. And just weren't able to sustain enough momentum to really take over the game, maybe until near the end. And at that point, it was just too late. And yeah, it's just, like I said, I just don't think we had enough guys kind of all on the same page, pulling in the right direction. And it's just one that it's tough and it stings, but we've got 2 big ones coming up this weekend where we got to take care of business and still have a shot at winning the pod here.
So again, we do see a good third period effort. Special teams helped, of course. But is it like another, we've talked about how close the group is. We've talked about third period comebacks before. It's another good sign, right? It's not like you want to completely just move on to the next game. Is it another good sign?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I don't think we're ever in a position where we're never going to give the guys credit for what they do. And giving them credit, I think it's almost the standard now. It's the expectation that when we get pushed, we're going to push back. And unfortunately, we would like to be the ones delivering the first blows all the time, and that way it makes it a lot easier. That way we're not digging ourselves out of holes, and especially ones that we may have dug ourselves. But the spirit of our group and the how close we are as a team shows every time we get our backs up against the wall. We all come out fighting together, and it's one of the main reasons why immense amount of pride for this group. And it's special when you have a group like that, and it shows that we have the capabilities to do something special here. And we've been on the right track, and we've done some good things. It's just we're tooth and nail now. We're right near the finish line, and we're a little bit short of moral victories, and we're not really going to be focusing too much on that. And I think our group, no one was looking for a pat on the back for battling hard in the last 10 there. I think we're all just ready to move on and focus on a big one on Friday.
I just want to highlight a couple performances, though. And Recchi, 3 assists, had a great game. Tucker Hartman, again, fabulous. That play, walking the line, setting up Shaw was incredible. Can you just talk about each of those guys? And Recchi, again, his energy's there, but he's been putting up the points the past couple of weeks as well. What does he mean to the team?
No, he's just, Tucker and Rex, they're both guys who you want to talk about a standard. The standard for them is that they're a couple Energizer bunnies that never stop. And, Rex, he's starting to really turn a corner here, and there's a lot left for him to be able to do. And, I don't say that in meaning we expect more out of him. I say that in meaning that he's got a ton of potential. And as he started to round his game into shape here, and it's been a process for him, but he's big, he's strong, he's fast. Like he plays the game the right way, and he's just starting to kind of unlock his offensive potential here. And the play he made, I believe, on Tassie's goal there, just how he kind of darted through the middle, kicks it out wide, drives the net, creates space there. Just the ability for him to be able to do that, and he's starting to kind of recognize and find chemistry with his line mates. And I think that he's really starting to take that next step and evolve into a more offensive type player who can contribute at both ends of the ice and be effective in a number of different situations. So he's really a guy that we've been really happy with the progressions he's made throughout the pod and ever since we got him earlier in the season. And, we've got a lot of expectations for him moving forward here with us.
Just moving ahead, lastly, to Friday, we've talked about the physicality on the Saturday game against Vernon the last time being so important. Is that kind of the number one, like, do you guys really, really need that, I think, on Friday to start there? Or you talked about the mental game here not being there, looking ahead to Friday. So other than the mental game and really showing up, is the physicality really, really important for Friday's game?
Yeah, it is, but it'll also come a lot more naturally. So it was a bit of a no-hitter at times tonight. They don't play a very hard style of game. And when you don't really have that kind of energy and life with you internally, sometimes you need it to be forced out of you from your opponent. And they're not a team over there that's going to intimidate you physically or play you hard. And, for us, Vernon, we know what they're about. We know this type of game that they bring. And it can work the other way, too. If we show up the way we did tonight against a team like Vernon who plays that style, we could get run out of the building. But, the way, like we talk about with our group and how if we get pushed, we push back. And sometimes we push back even harder. And so I think that, especially after a night like tonight, there's going to be no doubt in my mind that we're going to be raring to go on Friday. And it's not something that we're not focusing on it and saying, hey, every time you're out there, you need to hit everybody or you need to run around or go out of position. It's just something that comes naturally. It's the game of hockey. It's a physical sport. It's a contact sport. And we're not going to shy away from it. And, we want to play with that edge and that kind of tenacity. And, it wasn't on display today, but it's definitely going to be back there on Friday. And it's just one of those things where you get into a situation tonight with a team that just likes to play loose and run and gun. And, there's not a lot of physicality coming from them. And, a guy like Hunter Stansbury was stepping up at all sorts of times. And he saw the space he was able to create for himself out there. And it's going to be a lot different on Friday against Vernon.
Perfect. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, no worries.